My voice is gone. What up, people? What up? Hey, we're on my channel, right?
That's right. So you get to lead this one.
Penis. That's what she said. Fuck. Shit.
But, You know what I was gonna do though? I was gonna challenge you to not do a single "That's what she said."
Have I said it?
Yeah, I think it was like the first word out of your mouth.
Can we start over?
Yes, starting right now.
Okay. Hello, people. We're on my channel. Doesn't change anything apparently, according to what I just heard.
I mean, I think it'll be hard.
What will be hard? I don't know.
You not doing the "That's what she said."
Ah.
No.
I don't. No.
Oh, okay. I just thought it would be difficult to fit that into your normal schedule.
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
So, Rob had this idea. No, wait. Billy Bob. Billy Bob had this idea to talk about. I need one more light. You talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay. Talk about tone. So, obviously, it's a very common phrase that people always say is the tones in the person's hands. And I definitely agree with that. There's a lot that goes on in that area, but I really think there's kind of like three, there's probably like a million things, but I think there's three main dynamics to tone, which is it is very much in your hands. It's also very much in the gear that you use, and it's in your head. It's the sound that you're kind of going after. So, I'm sure that John Petrucci is chasing a different tone than what Eddie Van Halen is. So, no.
Do you think?
Where's the...
Yeah, well, of course, they all have their own idea of tone.
Right, yeah, so,
Well, Eddie and Petrucci both have a high gain idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about, George Benson and John Petrucci?
What was he? Was he on Three's Company? George Benson? Wasn't he like the butler?
Wait, you know who George Benson is, or? I hope he's messing with me, because George Benson's the best jazz guitarist ever. But
what about Mike Stern?
I'm not saying that Mike Stern isn't amazing, but George Benson, come on, man. Turn your love around. Turn your love around. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, fine, good. George Benson rules.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And actually, before we get going too much into this is a challenge for everyone on your channel. Because
I have no idea what's coming. He told Leslie what's coming. I'm afraid because apparently it's not good for me.
So tomorrow is totally your birthday.
Tomorrow is the birthday that matters the most in my life.
The birthday of the Henning Polly.
It's my 42nd birthday.
So I totally got you a birthday present. I got you a really ugly shirt.
You mean another really ugly shirt?
This thing's pretty awful.
It looks like dildos. I know it's surfboards.
So what I think...
It looks like... At first glance is, why are they little... Wait, what can I not say? Can I not say this?
Yeah.
I could write it. You didn't say I can't write it, right?
That's true. I guess you can just say it if you want.
No. The rule is the rule.
But this is yours. So what I think we should...
Well, thank you.
What I think we should do... Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
It's even up close. It looks like little dildos.
Not gonna lie, why I bought it. But I think that people should send you the ugliest shirt that they can find, just so because I know you'll wear it in videos.
Why are you looking at me and why are you looking at my shirt?
Because
excuse me.
The shirt was all the evidence I needed to know that this will go into effect.
You continue. I'll be right back. Talk about tone and ugly shirts. I gotta put this on now.
See? So for real, leave comments.
It's got for real Z's.
For real Z-Zizzles. Send Henning your ugliest shirt. Back to tone. So, but yeah, so obviously, I think a lot of the tone actually starts in your head. It's what you hear about what is the sound that you're chasing, because if you're not chasing after a tone, then what exactly are you going to sound like? And it goes to, like we were talking about, John Petrucci and Eddie Van Halen. Obviously, both go after a high gain sound, but that's a totally different sound than what George Benson's going after, what Eric Johnson's going after. Now, all four of those guys, I think I listed four, can't remember how many I said, but look at the guitars and stuff that they play. Very different. Eric Johnson's playing a Strat. Yes. It's even better than I thought. Oh, man.
There's penises on here. This is... It's...
Please send shirts then.
It's pajama-like. It's... Look at it.
Perfect.
Obviously, if someone sends me a shirt, I take it as love from my fans, and of course I will wear it.
And I'm a fan, and I just sent you a shirt. Hand delivered, though, so that's the real test.
I'm looking at tiny penises.
Oh, man. So, anyways, back to Tone.
Is it turning you on?
Not
Back
at
to
all.
Tone, okay. How will they concentrate on the video with this?
I didn't plan that far ahead.
Okay, then.
But yeah, obviously the tone that the person is going after, I feel, is the initial sculpting point of, tone. Like what when you think of a good tone, what do you think of? Like just the first tone that pops in your head.
John Mayer.
John Mayer? Yeah, okay. So me, I think of like a neck pickup on a Strat with a light distortion. So John Mayer, you know? Andy Timmons, stuff like that. Like when I think of really good tone, even Eric Johnson, I think of...
When I think of tone, I think of something that can be sculpted, which means if it's really high gain, there's a lot of compression going on. A lot of compression means you have less control. Doesn't mean bad sound at all, but it means less control with a lot of compression.
Yes.
So the more high gain, the less the player has a way of expressing himself in terms of dynamics. If you have a nicely overdriven tone, you could roll back a little bit. If you really have a super mega screaming high gain tone, you're likely not to roll back all the way. So Timmons, Mayer, anyone like this, or even like a Phil X who doesn't have a super mega high gain tone. So dynamic, controllable, moldable by the hands and the player. That's what I think is a good tone. That's a tone that I love playing.
Yeah.
Where I can really go almost clean and still have the notes stand there, and then just with my playing bring out more overdrive. Yeah, but it means something different for... Oh, here's a question. When we talk about high gain players, metal players or high gain players, are we talking about tone? Not us. I'm asking everyone.
Yeah.
Is anyone saying, that Michael Amott, is that a word? Is that a guy?
Yeah, he's from...
Arch Enemy?
Arch Enemy, yes.
Don't know. I mean, I think he's a good player, but are we talking about when it comes to solo, his tone, his sound? Yes, but are we talking about tone when it comes to these types of players?
Yeah, it's tough because you see a player like Jeff Loomis, and who's one of my all-time favorite guitar players, and I don't reference him when I think of tone. I reference him when I think of technique, that metal sound, just the overall general thing. I guess like a metal player that I think of tone is like Keith Merrow.
Okay. I don't know too much of Keith. Sorry, Keith.
He's a YouTube guy. He's also...
I know who Keith Merrow is, but...
Oh, okay. But like him, I'm like...
Also, how is he going to have Tony play the freaking Kemper? Thank you, yes I did. Go on.
Oh, God. But yeah...
Don't get religious on me about the Kemper, okay?
Hey, I don't even own a Kemper, so I don't even know what he's talking about.
Okay, continue.
But
Keith Merrow.
Yeah, but like when I think of him, I think of like a person who has a good metal tone.
Yes.
But
is that tone, or is it a good metal sound? Or is sound and tone the same?
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. I said I dial in a sound on my amp. It's a good metal sound. And I play it. And I say, oh, dude, you should play that sound. And you're going to play the sound. Is that what I'm talking about when I'm talking about tone. No. Because tone is what you contribute. Sound is what...
You're going after?
No, sound is what the amp is giving me.
Oh, yeah. That's
And when
a
we're
good point.
talking about a riff, yeah, there is a difference in how it would sound in your hands and in mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different pick position,
Yeah.
where you're picking. But is that what we... Let's say you play a cool metal riff with the same setup I play with, and it sounds slightly different.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about when it comes to tone?
Kind of, in a way, just because it's the delivery of the note. It's like the way the note is hitting the listener's ears.
Because when I think of tone, I think of a solo sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like single note sound.
Yeah.
But is that what we're talking about? I'm not saying, I'm asking.
Yeah.
In a stupid ass shirt.
It's tough because one of those things that tone's gonna obviously be different to every player.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look at like pickups. I mean, like I don't like super high output pickups.
Why?
What? Because the way I look at it is that is the start of the signal going. Well, I guess it's more like your pick is the start of the signal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already starting out super compressed. I mean, I've seen people who have ridiculously hot pickups that get amazing, what I consider amazing tone.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't like it because if it's already entering the amp hot, then it's like, well, you can't go back from a hot signal. So, what do you think of?
Yeah, same thing. I like less output. I can always get more output.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would rather the amp work harder than the pickups.
Mm-hmm. So, is tone for you also a recognizability in a player's, like you hear a couple of notes and like that's that player.
Yeah, it's almost like their vocabulary of the instrument, kind of.
Okay, but is that their tone or is it their note choice?
I think it's a mixture of their hands obviously playing the notes and then what their thought process is for playing. It's like Eric Johnson, like anytime you do his style of like triad, like the root fifth third or root fifth minor third, whatever it is, everybody in the world assumes you're an Eric Johnson clone. And you're just like, oh, you're doing the Eric Johnson thing. So I mean, to me that's obviously
that's no choice.
Yeah. So I guess that's the sound that it creates, but it's not. You could play that and not have an Eric Johnson tone.
Yes, but then that's not tone. That's sounding like Eric. That's playing like Eric Johnson. Like arranging wise like Eric Johnson. Pick no choice. Would you recognize or distinguish between Eric Johnson, Steve Vai, and Joe Satriani if they all played a Strat and clean?
Are they all playing the same?
Exactly the same thing.
It would just depend if are they allowed to do their normal like subtleties? Or are you saying like literally?
No. They're normal subtleties. Yeah, but would you be able to differentiate between them? And would what you can differentiate be their tone? If it's not Satch with his slightly fuzzy thing, if it's not Eric Johnson with this very high-end rolled-off, super dark a pillow sound. I call it a pillow sound.
It's very soft.
Yes. And so with Vai, it's no choice.
Yeah.
I don't think Vai has a sound. Let's call it not tone. Let's call it sound. That's in any way anything special. It's a high-gain sound.
Yeah.
But he plays 3-4 notes, and I don't even know where they are on the fretboard. I have no idea what he's doing. None.
Yeah. I mean, I think people might associate like the Lydian sound a little bit more with Vai than most because he uses that more than the normal person, but that's always
But he plays combinations of notes where I go like, what did he just do?
Oh, like what? Like Freak Show and Excess and
when he just sits there and noodles around.
Yeah, oh. Yeah.
So if you take note choice away and they all play the same pentatonic lick, would you, and they don't have their sound, so it's all just a clean Fender amp and a Strat. It's all just a clean amp and a Schecter. A Strat style guitar from Schecter. God, that shirt's ugly. So, would you be able to tell the difference? I'm just trying to limit choices here.
Yeah. See, Satch and Vi for me, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Johnson, I feel like I would if things like their vibrato came into play, because I think Eric Johnson has a very distinguishable vibrato. So like if they both bent a note and did vibrato, like they bend the same note, they bend 15th fret on the B or something like that, up to an E note. Like to me, if they both did their style vibratos, I don't know if I would know the difference between Vi's vibrato.
Well,
Joe's.
why does that circle vibrato? He does the circle, which is really difficult.
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't know that.
He doesn't do that or that. Well, he does both, but he usually does a circle.
You know what? I have seen videos of him doing that.
Which is like, it gives you instead of like a sine wave, it gives you like an elliptical kind of a.
Oh.
It's difficult to do, but I think the point is what we talk about tone.
Mm-hmm.
What we're now talking about is purely the fingers.
Yeah.
So tone is in the fingers. Okay, same amp, same guitar, same lick. I want to hear the difference in the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there will be a difference, but it's not everything. It's not as defining as what I think we call tone. I think fingers, yes, in combination with their sound,
yes,
which gets sucked into what we call tone.
Yeah.
So, of course, Eric Johnson's fuzz with high end rolled off, and Satriani's now slightly, let's call it, a little bit fuzzy sound.
Yeah, he definitely has his own sound.
Yeah. A lot, and I have a gem from Ibanez, I have a Satriani from Ibanez. It's very interesting. Satriani gave Brian May a Joe Satriani guitar in the 90s. And Brian May used it on a song on his first solo album. It sounded very much like Satriani.
Oh, really?
Because the mids that guitar brings out.
Yeah, he has a very mid-driven.
Is very reminiscent of him. So, tone is in the fingers. Yes, but we definitely associate it with a core sound texture that the player has.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have anything, it doesn't necessarily have something to do with the guitar or the gear he plays.
No.
It's more like with whatever you give him, how he sets it up, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you gave him a Schecter, like not trying to be funny, and gave him a diesel amp, like I bet you he's going to chase a similar sound. Like Joe's still gonna want those pushed mids, Eric
Johnson will roll off the high end.
Yeah, he's gonna kill the treble. He wants a darker sound. Like that's the sound that they chase, that they hear in their head, is like, they're not gonna suddenly just settle with like, oh well, whatever the amp is, it's just what it is. It's like, well, no, we're just gonna get our sound a different way now.
Yeah. They asked Steve Vai what would he do if they gave him like a Fender Champ and like a Telecaster, and that was all he had for the gig. He's like, I'm gonna go and play the gig.
Yeah.
I mean, without his tremolo and all this, no, there is stuff that he wouldn't be doing phrasing-wise, but, well, he's professional enough that he probably just would do his thing anyway.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of what we call, let's talk about gear. Let's not talk about any of the big people and being recognizable. Let's talk about the little people. Us. Oh, more him. But let's talk about small things. There's the fingers. There's the guitar. There's the pedals. There's the amp. There's also the cab.
Yeah.
In terms of frequency response, the cab has probably the most effect on the sound.
Yeah, I also think actually the picks can have a big impact.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I like pick with your fingers, or and pick with an actual like metal pick or chicken pick, pick whatever it is.
So let's do this. I'm doing this old school. using up Leslie's paper. Why is there a Mickey Mouse in the back here?
Is that a Pikachu?
There are stickers back in. Was Leslie collecting little stickers? How old is that girl?
At least she doesn't have to wear that shirt.
Am I gonna have to go to jail? She's over 18, right?
Wearing that? Good luck in jail.
Okay, so we're gonna write pick fingers.
Mm-hmm.
That says fingers, right? Can you see that?
Is it in German or something?
That's fingers. Pick and fingers. Very clearly fingers.
Does that first one say pick?
Yeah, pick, fingers. Git, pedals, amp. Should we take cap is frequency response, but let's not put it in there. Okay. So we have 100% that we can put on here all together. Now math comes in. Let's see what the importance is.
So
for your tone.
So when you say guitar, are you just saying the guitar, like everything about it, like pickups, everything?
What guitar you play.
Okay.
You pick the guitar based on wood. Let's not have a tone wood discussion. Mm-hmm. What kind of pickups, Floyd or no Floyd, set neck through, whatever. So your guitar that you pick, how important is it in your tone, in how it's going to come out in the end?
No, I think super important. Not even just from like, oh, it has these pickups. It's like if someone hands me an 8-string guitar or they hand me a Strat, I'm gonna be a million times.
Or a Strat style guitar from Schecter.
Or a Strat, the Nick Johnson signature from Schecter. I'm gonna be a million times more comfortable on that Nick Johnson Strat from from Schecter than I will be on an 8-string guitar. So to me, that is a huge portion of what are you going to sound like? I mean, we did a video where we were handed random guitars, and trust me, when you put an 8-string in my hand, it doesn't go too well.
But it's also, you like the connection to the strings from single coils.
Exactly.
And humbuckers are beautiful and rounder, but I feel like I have more wire in my hand when I hear a single coil. Mm-hmm. So that's important to you.
Yes.
And that will define how you play, because your feedback that you get is going to define your hand movement and your next note, and in where you set your pedal, and it's going to define how it feels. It's going to define what you play. So for you, guitar, because it's our interface to the music.
Yeah, it's our direct link.
Yes. So place a value on it. Percentage.
See, I would go heavy on guitar, like 50%.
50% guitar.
Yeah.
There's pick, fingers, pedals, and amp.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll go 49.8%. Just put 40% down. So then what would you go with for guitar?
Yeah, that's good.
40?
I'm good.
Yeah. I think that's like the lion's share. I mean, at the end of the day, we could plug into pretty much any of these amps and still chase the sound that we're hearing.
Amp is. Amp, we're also of course talking. Amp and pedals could go kind of together because we're talking about level of distortion and all this. But really, amp, I could throw Eric Johnson and all these guys. And us. Well, let's just name Eric Johnson and us in one sentence. Why not? Why not? In a room, and there's one amp. As long as it distorts somehow, I think we would be able to get. And there's a couple of pedals too. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
But I mean, in this room, I can plug him into any of these 20+ amps, and get him a tone that he's cool with.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, and we're not talking about like the little $5 starter amps.
No, but I mean, the amp it's got a clean tone, it's got a distorted tone, it's got more mids, it's got less mids, but it's much less important for tone than than the guitar is.
Yeah.
I played Robert some music that I did that I hadn't listened to in quite a while. And I played him the second Frameshift album with Sebastian Bach, and halfway through I'm telling him, oh, by the way, everything you're hearing, that was a Pod HD. Completely.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, that's a cool solo, and you were listening to the music, and did it matter to you that it sounded like a pod? Did it even sound like a pod?
No, it didn't. I didn't. I guess I don't. At least me, anyways, don't really associate too much stuff with like, oh, that sounds like this, and maybe like a plexi sound, something like that. But I just think of it as like, that sounds good. I'm like, well, what is that? Because good is good in my book. I mean,
and then a more recent album that I did, we listened to it, and I was, it sounds stupid, but I was floored by the solo sounds I got. I mean, years later, and Robert thought so too. And then I tell him what it is, and it was the little black heart killer ant. It's oh, you right there? Wait, right above here, right here.
Oh yeah, right there.
This tiny little thing. €110 right there. Where is it here? €110. 1 watt, 1 knob. It was that amp and a Boss SD1.
It sounded amazing.
And it had I used guitar. I used a Music Man Steve Morse. So that got me that Steve Morsey sound. Why? Mm-hmm. Well, because of that really hard bird's eye maple, you have that attack. And what did I do? I wanted to sound like Steve Morse. So I alternate picked everything.
Yeah.
So in order to get closer to Steve Morse, the amp, $110 in an overdrive.
Yeah.
But the guitar had an effect on how I played. Everything is relatively compact, so it was easy to play those fast things. And I tried to emulate him by doing alternate picking.
Yeah, you went after, like, obviously his sound is very much alternate picking. So.
But the amp, nah. So I'm not going to put a lot of value on amps.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't really care about amps. I mean, who needs amps?
I mean, having more than like one or two is kind of ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Those are loser people that think they can buy tone with amps.
I know this one guy, he has a lot of amps, lives in Germany, has a weird shirt.
Germans are... Okay, amp.
Your turn for this one.
No more than 10%.
Yeah.
If that.
Now,
let's give it pedals. And with pedals, I'm talking about like a compressor or overdrive. Of course, not a delay, because that's of course like the edge. It's easy to say. Well, that sounds like the edge because you use delay. Mm-hmm. But does anyone say the edge sounds like the edge because of his fingers or his? Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's his effect. Yeah, like I said, if those effects were included, my personal taste in tone would be heavily influenced by a pedal, or just the effect of using reverb.
You're not gonna say One Play Ethereal, right?
No.
Okay, I thought you were going there, and I would have had to stab you in the eye.
Oh my god, that would have been funny. But no, just because one of the biggest sounds that I go after is I love a lot of reverb, clean with reverb, and that see when I say like a neck pickup on a Strat, like through an amp, or a Schecter, I'm hearing that with reverb and delay and stuff like that. So, but if those aren't included, I mean,
I'm not comfortable on a clean sound without a little bit of depth.
Yeah, and like compression.
Talking a bit of depth, you need to check out the Abbey Chamber burp from Keeley.
Oh yeah,
I need to put that on the table because that's kind of a cool reverb.
It's like the Beatles thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Off topic. So amp and pedals, 15% together.
Yeah.
Maximum. Right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but that loses a lot for fingers. Let's call it 20.
Okay.
20% together.
Yeah.
So we had 60, so we got 40 left. Pick and fingers.
I think pick, it actually has a lot to do with your sound. I mean, if you've ever played with a metal pick, and you play with a cheap plastic pick, and then you play with just your fingers. I did a video on this exact thing. It was thin pick, thick pick, or no pick. and everyone's like, "Oh wow, you know."
Oh, I did a whole bunch of videos on picks, by the way. Don't watch it. I have really cool videos. No, that is cool.
Yeah, no, and it's just like, obviously, if you're using a lot of distortion, you got to keep in mind that that's adding a ton of compression to your sound. I think a lower gain sound is going to give you a really good result on that. Yeah, see, like, look at all these picks.
Right now I'm playing the chicken picks, which are... It took me a while to get used to it, but it has a really nice attack.
Yeah.
And you got the Dragonheart picks.
Yeah.
I've tried those as well.
Yeah.
They sound rounder.
They do. And I think that's why I like them, because they have a round sound to them.
These are relatively sharp in the attack. And because of the sharpness also of the pick, it takes a while to get used to. Because you really just have to get past the string. But what I've got here is timber tones. And you have tons of different woods. Which is, how different do the woods sound? Extremely minute differences. But then you go to, which is very interesting, shell. So this is like a seashell kind of a thing. Like, and here you have like an abalone kind of a thing. So these don't last very long. You can already see that it's chipped.
Oh, yeah.
But they have a lot of high end.
Oh, I'm
They're
sure.
super, super spiky. Now, the interesting thing is, here we have stone.
Ah.
What would you think stone sounds like?
I would almost think more brittle. Oh, no, because I guess it's so dense. Are they really dark?
They are rounder.
Rounder.
They are rounder in the attack. Definitely not that super spiky thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought they would have had. There's
Yeah.
different kinds of stones. I don't know if different types of stones sound different. Interesting, then here we have horn. These are actually a different company that, I don't remember who it was, that a fan of mine sent me after he saw the Timber Tones video I did.
Oh, nice.
So he sent me horn. He said, I like these, I play these. These are relatively big. No, it's not.
Oh, wrong one? Oh, there we go.
Okay, good. We've got that's. Sorry, we gotta go. We gotta do this. We can't say it. So horn. So material important, shape important, size important. Thank you. And you being comfortable with the angle. Certain picks allow for certain angles. Certain picks don't. So there's a lot of importance on pick.
Oh, yeah. I had a student who was a metal engineer, and
Engineer.
Yes, that's exactly what he was. but no, he was a metal engineer, and...
Well, engineer.
I was making sure every time I say metal...
No. It's just once a video.
Oh, okay. But he made me a metal pick based off of I think I was using the Jazz 3s at the time. And he had a really nice, and I loved, it was the most aggressive and bitey sounding pick ever, but it just destroyed strings. I mean, you couldn't use it more than a day or two, and there were just metal flakes on this, because he didn't, it wasn't super high polished, but it had such a cool sound. I think it's Phil Collin from Def Leppard uses metal picks, I believe. And
I don't know if I have them here. I had from Timber Tones. They make metal picks. They make
Do they?
titanium, brass, and whatever, and they do sound drastically different. The titanium was relatively pointy, but if you wanted to have defined metal rhythms, it's insane. I was playing something, and then I picked that, and all of a sudden I was like, yeah, there's my rhythm, because on the lower strings it was just so there.
yeah.
I don't know where they are. I have no idea. I gotta find. Here.
Nice.
That's the titanium pick.
Yeah. So this is very similar.
Here's my Dragonheart pick.
You do have a Dragonheart pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is very similar to what he made me. Similar kind of jazz
yeah.
style.
Ogre picks.
What are they?
Ogre. I think they're from Ogre picks. They're relatively small, but they're also made out of wood. And he has different kind of wood picks, but they're as thin as plastic picks, but made out of wood. Because usually
that's
wooden
interesting.
picks are thicker, and most
Yeah.
people don't like them. So how long these last, I have no idea. I don't know what else I have. You continue.
Yeah, no, this is a very nice metal pick. Yeah. So I think a pick is one of those things that so many people overlook. It's kind of, well, I don't want to compare it to cables because I don't think cables have a huge impact on your tone, but
You just need a good cable, period.
you need a good cable. There's no reason to, have nice gear and just plug a, cheap cable in, because how to not get any tone is have a cable that doesn't work.
Okay, here's a brass from Timber Tones.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
And it does sound beautiful with a Strat style guitar like the Nick Johnson signature. But if you play this with a Strat style guitar, it will bell. It
Really?
will have this blooming belling sound. Take the weight.
Wow. Yeah, these are crazy because they're so heavy.
Yeah. So Timber Tones make these pick, and you can get different metals up to silver, where the pick is like $100, $200. Gold in different carats, and up to, I think, then the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then there's
Really?
one for $49.99, which is like not titanium, it's platinum. Yeah, I think
Oh, really?
it's like $5,000 for a pick.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, I don't think we're saying go buy a $5,000 pick.
No, I'm saying that, yeah,
Well,
Okay.
unless you want to. I mean, go
Okay.
buy whatever you want, but
and send it to me.
and send it to you for a review. But I think that picks weigh much heavier on a person's sound than what they're given credit for, because we're too busy looking at guitar, amp, pedals, and it's like sometimes that little pick in your hand, if you're used to using, these real paper thin picks, and all of a sudden you get a, super fat pick, it's like they're darker, they're rounder sounding and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, the chicken pick, those points. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Points probably give them more bite to the sound.
So it's not all about the pick itself. It's also about the pick forcing you to hold it differently.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, your playing changes, and with that, the tone.
Oh yeah.
So pick importance. We have 40% left.
I would put the pick at 20%.
As important as your fingers?
Well, then maybe 15 for that.
Okay. Let's take 5% away from. Let's do 20%
And take 5% away from the amp.
from amp and pedals.
Yeah.
Because I really don't think it's that important. So, that leaves 15, 20, 16,
35.
40 and 20 is 60. And 15, 75.
So 25 left.
75? It's 25 left. Yeah, that's 25 left for fingers.
Musicians, only counting to 4.
So according to this list, very clearly the guitar is more important than the fingers. Okay, you can read the list right here. Leslie, zoom in on the list. So you can clearly see there's some doodles at the bottom. The pick is clearly 20 or something percent.
Yeah.
You can read this. Fingers is 25%. Guitar is 40%, and pedals and amps is 15. Previously more.
Yeah.
It's a very professional list.
Yeah.
So we're saying the guitar is drastically more important than the fingers. So then what you do with your fingers? You know what? You know what I think about our list? I didn't know there was a guitar.
Well, I think that throwing notebooks at guitars can definitely negatively impact the tone. But
Depends on what album you're working on. I don't. It.
list
You know
doesn't
what I
matter.
think? I think we know that amps are not that important.
Mhm.
And I think that's what I know about tone.
Yeah.
It's an interactive system.
Yeah.
When I put you on that guitar yesterday, from the company that you thought, no, I don't like it that much, and now you can't stop talking about it. did the guitar only change your playing and impact the tone, or were you reacting to it and your fingers were doing more than they usually do? Did the guitar get something out of you that your fingers usually, because they are maybe, let's say, a little bit lazy on the guitars that it knows,
Yeah.
all of a sudden say, oh wow, this is a different level, and you heard it because it's a great guitar, and then it brought out more out of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a really great point, because it was, you know, more of a brand. I was just kind of like, I've never played one that I liked, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, this thing is amazing. So it was probably, like I said, that relation between your fingers now being on this new guitar. It's kind of like, you know, new area to work all of a sudden, and it's just, you know, it brings out more inspiration. So it's going to bring out different sounds all of a sudden with your fingers.
So it's an interactive system.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you know nothing now. It's interactive. You got to buy the best of everything and practice and buy a good pick. Chicken pick.
Dragon Heart.
Chicken picks.
So what did you learn today? Well, we wasted all your time building up to this moment when we say that tone is basically whatever you make it.
It's interactive.
Interactive.
Virtual.
Yeah. It's not something you can.
Tone is where the heart is.
Tone is. I think we should end it on that emotional note of tone is where the heart is. Let's all just take a moment and look at Henning's shirt. One more time.
I feel molested wearing this. I gotta say that I feel absolutely molested. But give me a hug, come on.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for this amazing gift that you have bestowed upon me.
I don't know how amazing it is, but happy birthday, and in all seriousness, I think it would be cool if everyone sent Henning ugly shirts. So
where are they going to send them? Do I have to give them my address? Or do I have to make a P.O. box now? Actually, my fans find out my address anyway. It's not difficult to find.
Make a P.O. box. Spend his money.
Thanks for watching. Love you guys so much.
Wait,
let's do the Robert Baker thing. High five! Animals at the end.
Oh yeah, animals at. Oh, okay, let's do the Henning Collie thing. Animals at the end.
I had